All right, guys, we're gonna do our extreme towing review. Ours is a little bit different. We're gonna do 1,500 miles towing, about 5,000 pounds of weight. Could we go heavier? We could, but we're running a higher profile trailer. Not a full 8.5 foot wide, but a 7.5 foot wide trailer. And we're gonna be at highway speeds. Here's what we're after in this trip. Are we gonna cook the oil? Antifreeze. How does the transmission do? This is the new generation trans that's came out. That is the next generation following the 8HP 75 transmission. It's been great. This is the new 880 RE. Things I'm gonna be looking for is, how does it shift? How does it downshift? How are the trans temperatures comparing versus 8HP 75? We have towed easily 40, 50,000 miles with the 8HP 75 transmission. Never had a problem with them. They've been awesome. So this is gonna have to live up to this. Also, at the end of this, big towing review, we are gonna do a deep dive on the oil. Why is this important? Well, when they went to the Hurricane engine could be harder on oil than the Hemi. Why do you ask? Turbos, high pressure fuel system. Both of these put extra stresses in the oil system that the Hemi outgoing engine does not have. Are high pressure fuel systems and turbos new to engines? Absolutely not. But we wanna see what happens when we start hitting high numbers. And 1,500 miles towing, we're gonna break this up into two different trips so you can see two different scenarios. Hand calculated fuel economy versus computer. I think you guys might be surprised on how this thing does. And if bad things happen, I'm in for it, so let's go. So what are we in for? 2026 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, 3-liter, standard output Hurricane engine. Trailer loaded, I'll show you what's inside. Let's check out the tongue weight here. About 700-800 pounds of tongue weight. If you're interested in this hitch, I've been running these weigh safes for a while. They've worked pretty well for me. I'm not running weight distribution on this trailer. Why? Because if I need to run weight distribution on a trailer like this, maybe I got the wrong tow vehicle. I've never needed it, and we've towed 20, 30,000 miles of trailers like this. Let's see what's inside. Once again, nothing extreme. We got the Can-Am loaded up. It's a tight fit in here at the 7.5 foot wide, but it works. We got some junk in the front. We're sitting probably just shy of about 5,000 pounds total. We got the tires pumped up to max cold pressure, and we just did all brand new Dexter brakes. You'd be surprised, guys, when you're towing in rough climates, how hard the conditions are on the brakes. We just spent a bunch of money putting all brand new brake system in here. We didn't go cheap. We went OEM, Dexter, made in America. Got to support our buddies. Gonna reset our fuel economy. Gonna reset this. We are gonna activate our tow mode down here, which is cool because now it changes the suspension setting. See how it's lifting up right there? Very, very cool. And it just notified normal ride height achieved. You can see in the corner, it's auto height selected for blind spot indicators. We're gonna be looking at cooling temperatures, oil pressures, battery voltage, everything. Let's see the gauges here for the tow menu. Does it show us anything? Yeah, you can kind of see where we're at towing. We got our brakes set up correctly, and we are gonna be off. All right, guys, so you're going on a trip. You need a cooler, but you don't wanna put ice in it. You also want it to be freezing on one side, maybe cooling on the other side. I'm gonna show you a pretty cool Bodega cooler here that we're gonna try out for the next 3-4 days, and let's just show you what's inside. One of the reasons why I like the Bodega cooler is two things. Number one, there is no ice required. Number two, there's more actual reasons. These wheels, these things are not light. Fortunately, the design and construction of this one is actually lighter weight than a lot of other models in the marketplace. The wheels are super helpful with the handle on the side. We got it plugged into the bed utility group here on the side, but we got this thing packed up for a few days. Both the sides here, you can actually remove this and flip it to the other side so you can open it from either way. Plus, look at the height here, guys. It actually fits right underneath the tonneau cover, at least of the Ram, which is nice for trips. And what I like about this thing is the lightweightness. I've used a lot of the different coolers out there, and there's a lot of great ones, don't get me wrong. With that being said, the weight of this thing is substantially lighter weight. So you mix the lightweight with the wheels on one side, it makes it much easier to get these things in and out of a truck bed and rolling. Look how slick this is, guys. We've got 38 degrees on the one side, 0 on the other side, and it shows you which side is hot, cold. You can change to eco mode, max mode, a lot of different settings. This is a really easy one to use. You plug it in right here, bed utility group, going down the road, and then check this out, goes right underneath the tonneau cover, so we don't have to worry about water or anything hitting this as we're going down the road. Pretty slick setup. If you go over to Bodega Cooler, you can kind of check out, this is the 79 quart dual zone. It's an IPX4 waterproof portable fridge with wheels. We've been doing one side fridge and freezer back and forth because I wanted to see, can it do cold and freezing? That's a big deal to me because if it can only do freezing or only do cool, but we've not had any issues of like temperatures swaying from side to side. And I like how you can remove the lid and switch it from side to side also. And it's a good size. Now we've had a handful of different size coolers to kind of compare. This is about the right size for us where we could take a trip with a family of 4 and have good space. And I'm telling you right now, this is obviously their marketing pitch here, but I can tell you right now, it does work. And it's convenient. I've got similar, kinds like this, and I do like the wheels, and the weight of this construction is really nice as well. By the way, guys, if you are interested, you can at the time stack some of your discounts. You can see there is one going for 4th of July right now, but you've got the CTech coupon code down below. It'll help out the channel as well. Prior to doing this video, we've been actually testing this cooler out for just about shy of a week, making sure temperatures align with the gauges on the side, going ice versus fridge, back and forth, making sure it switches, works correctly. And a week worth so far, working good. I'll keep you guys updated. If you're interested in this cooler, we'll put a link down below of a coupon code to save you a few bucks. They got a lot of really neat coolers. For the money, this is a great value cooler. Now let's get back to the video. RHO is doing good. We're at 15 miles per gallon there. We're at about 9.5 right now with the Grand Wagoneer. We're running premium on this tank. We got a pretty stiff wind. Not sure if it picks up here right now, but it'll be kind of fun to compare this to our friend with their Navigator. They've got a new 25 or 26 Navigator with the 3.5 high output, pulling maybe a little bit heavier weight, but a little bit lower profile. And guys, check that bad boy out right there. Is that not beautiful? North Point Jayco with a bad boy Super Duty with the, that's a standard output, 450. Huh, pretty nice setup though. Here's one thing we've noticed. We're having to have this issue randomly. This thing will open all the way or close all the way on the Grand Wagoneer. Curious if anybody else is seeing this with theirs as well. This is an expensive fill up here. Actually, premium's not a huge difference in price here. Okay, we got 21.7 gallons here, and we fill it up with 93, so see how this does for fuel economy. Okay, so computer said 10.3. Hand calculated 9.7, not bad. All right, now for some perspective, the RHO with us the entire time, computer said 15.3 miles per gallon, hand calculated 14.4. So the fact that that wasn't towing anything, and we're towing the Grand Wagoneer with that trailer and only getting, what, 5 miles per gallon less, I don't think that's bad at all with the Grand Wagoneer. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you, I get a lot of questions all the time of how do you use this display? I just got this Amazon Basics HDMI to USB, and I want to show you right now. I got this connected right here. So right now it's not playing audio wise through this because we have another thing connected, but you can see, let's see, what's this? No items. Oh, okay. So then what I could do here is connect headphones, or it looks like device manager. Let's see what this does. Let's check this. Let's see what happens here. There we go. It says connected. And other people are saying this is 3-to-1 selling versus that being 3-to-1. So you can kind of see, you guys, what I have found, how it's working. Now watch what the data shows. Now you can kind of see what the display looks like here. I'm gonna show you here. Now I just switched, and this is what it looks like. Wow. Put it sideways. Watch, hit this button. Week. Boom. With Ford and General Motors on the top. That's how it works. Nothing special. I don't know of any really unique tricks, but I just connect a USB-C into the HDMI, and I go over into this menu here, and I hit connect, and it worked. That's all there is to it. So we're cruising right now, towing 75. Yep. 75 miles an hour. Smooth sailing, 8th gear right now. Very impressive. And what's interesting about this truck, there we go, now it jumped down into 7th gear. You can kind of see the RPMs. I want to show you guys something. So it's hot out right now, for at least for Michigan, 83. Temperature is coolant, 216. Oil pressure, 35. Trans temp, 187. Oil temp, 219. All right, so why is this interesting? Well, these trans temps run exactly the same temp as every 8 HP 75 transmission I've towed with before. Behind a 5.7 Hemi, behind a 6.4 Hemi, behind a standard output, and a high output Hurricane engine. Exact same temperatures. So we're coming up on finishing 1,500 miles of towing with this thing. Not one hiccup. The one thing that I'm going to say I've got my eyes on, I'm not worried about it, but these new engines, they all just run so much hotter than engines 20 years ago. And here's what I mean. This thing, coolant-wise, fine. I'm 212 right now. Oil temps, though, I would love to see the oil temps more in that 200 range, not 215, 220. But it's not a big deal. The Raptor R just going down the road is at 239. So Raptor R is at 239 and this thing towing is at 217. I'm not worried about it. We're going to do an oil analysis here real shortly after. We're coming up on about 2,300, 2,500 miles on this oil change. We'll probably go another 1,500 to 2,000 miles and then we'll check the oil, change the oil and do another analysis. But overall, I'm super impressed with the standard output Hurricane engine. The fact this thing can get into 8th gear towing is pretty incredible. It very much reminds me of the 7.3 Godzilla for low end torque towing on the highway, and I like that. Like the other boosted 6-cylinder engines on the marketplace, except the Cummins, the engine braking on these things, non-existent. So if you're gonna go buy a Hurricane engine and think the engine braking is gonna be good, it won't be. Just giving you a heads up. It's not much different than the EcoBoost. EcoBoost is probably a little bit better, but we're talking turds versus polished turds when it comes to these 6-cylinder gas engines for engine braking. They're not great. If you want good engine braking, go buy a Cummins. After that, a big diesel. After that, the Raptor R engine braking was phenomenal. But the air suspension going down the road, the stability with this thing, phenomenal. I do think stock for stock, this thing out-tows my RHO. It feels so stable going down the road. And range is not bad, getting between 9 and 11 miles per gallon. It's kind of fun. Our friend's got a new Lincoln Navigator with the 3.5 high output, towing a little bit heavier but a little less wind profile, and it got very similar fuel economy. Also, wind is a little bit heavier on this return trip for this part of the loop, and our fuel economy is a little bit less, and we ran premium on this tank. So for me, am I gonna run premium in the future? Probably not towing, not in the standard output. I don't really see I can't tell really any performance gains. I really can't. And fuel economy, not see anything difference there. So to save an extra 30 bucks a fill up, yep, I'll do it. With the high output Hurricane, that's different. I will run the premium in that motor. But in this engine, with what we're towing, this seems to work pretty good. Overall, man, this thing's been great. I think this is a wonderful vehicle. We've not really had any issues to report. The trailer profiles and all that stuff has worked really good. But the big thing people are wondering is this 880 RE transmission a good fit? And how does it compare to the 8 HP 75? Guys, if I never told you, you would never be able to tell a difference. I've got over, 100,000 miles of driving with the 8 HP 75s, maybe 150,000 miles. Never had a problem with one of those transmissions. They've been great. This 880 RE, it doesn't feel any different. Arguably, I feel like the shifts are even smoother in between than our RHO transmission. So nothing to report there either. There we go, guys. 9.1 on the return trip. All right, so takeaways. We did what? 1,500 miles towing. Worst fuel economy we got, 9.1. And we were cruising on the way home. Best fuel economy, 11.5. I think that's phenomenal, pulling this trailer. We've pulled this trailer with videos, probably 20, 30,000 miles easily. And this is confirming my thoughts that I've said all along. The Hurricane engine Might not be the most efficient for fuel economy, not towing. But when it comes to towing, the fuel efficiency on this motor continues to impress me. I've got over 15,000 miles towing with Hurricane engines now, and I'm yet to see one that doesn't do decent, at least in our conditions. So if you're in the Midwest, you're pulling trailers of this size, this nature, these speeds, these locations, this might be something you can expect. I want to share this with you guys because there's lots of different ways you can do reviews on towing. We wanted to see, will we see any transmission issues, overheating, oil? That's the big thing. I'm chasing oil. Are we cooking the oil in this thing? Not 8 minutes as hard as we can go. We're talking 40, what is that? Probably 25 hours of towing, something like that. Never saw above 219 Fahrenheit in the oil coolant. And we will have a follow-up here in the next few months, maybe even sooner, where we're going to do an analysis of this oil, and we will see, did we cook the oil? Did the viscosity drop? So to recap, this transmission at 880 RE seems no different than 8 HP 75. Fuel economy seems good. Stability with the Upland, awesome. Hope you guys enjoy this video. We got a lot of fun stuff coming real soon. Hope you like. Thanks for watching.